This is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a couple of cards using the Joyful Life stamp set. Let's get started. For today's card, I'm going to be using the Joyful Life stamp set. You can find it in the July through December Stampin' Up! Mini catalog, or you can use the link in the description below and find it in my store. I've got a piece of scrap paper and then a piece of basic white, and I'm going to be using, I've decided he's a polar bear on a bicycle. He can be any kind of bear that you would like him to be. And I've just inked him in Memento, and I'm going to set him down center-ish, and then make sure that I've rubbed all around on the stamp and given it time to transfer. Okay, and now we are ready to do some coloring. So let me zoom in here so that you can see what I'm going to do. And let's start with his sweater. And I'm going to grab my Night of Navy Stampin' Blends, and using the bullet tips, we're going to color his collar and cuffs. And it doesn't matter which one you start with, light or dark, and just coloring every other one. And the bullet tip allows you to be very precise with this, so you don't have to color back and forth, and that way you're not likely to have any bleed through across the lines into your white bear if you're doing a polar bear. Okay. Always a challenge for me. I'd like to have my head closer, but if I have my head closer when I color, then you all get to see it and not the coloring. Okay, almost got all my navy blue in. And then the same thing, we're going to color the cuffs on the sweater. This is just quick and easy. One little stroke on each one of those little sections. Now let's put the Night of Navy out of the way and grab my dark and light crumb cake. And for these, I'm going to trying to decide whether I'm using brush tips and I've decided I'm going to. So I'm going to start with the dark down the back of the sweater here, and then come across with the light and drag some of that color out. And each time I color, I'm going back out to that edge. Now I want to come right under his head here and down the front. And then I'm also going to come back then with that light and blend that out and all the way down into the sleeve. And then we're going to come with the dark under the sleeve and across here to create a little shadow. Okay, and then let's get his other sleeve over there. So that's all of the crumb cake. And then I've got my light smoky slate, and my color lifter. So I'm going to use the brush tip on the color lifter and the bullet tip on the smoky slate, and I'm just going to give a little bit of kind of outline coloring here, and then come back and hit it with my color lifter to soften it a little bit. And same thing, going to come along the outline of my bear, and then come back with my color lifter and just scribble back and forth with it. And we want to hit this before it has too much time to dry. And then come on down the leg. And again, going to hit the color lifter. And let's go on out here. Now I don't know whether it shows up this way on screen or not, but the color lifter can make that, all of that, look darker while it dries than it really is. Okay. Next, we need to color the basket that our bunny is in, and I am using light and dark Cajun craze. Let's recap the light. I'm going to want the brush tip on that. So what I'm going to do is take my dark and go down the lines. And then I'm going to take the brush tip and just make one pass. Okay, and you get your shading built in that way. Okay, so that's all of our coloring. Let me zoom this back out. And we're going to add some more color. So I'm going to start with my Pool Party ink pad and a blending brush. And let's just rub on some ink, and I'm going to test that over here to make sure that I've picked up plenty. There we go. And we're going to add some framing, some color to frame it, which will create our little scene that we have or will have going on. And I'm just starting off the edge each time. And as you know, it takes a few passes to build up the amount of ink that you want in terms of color. Okay, and I think that's good for our blue. Let's move our Pool Party out of the way. And next, I want Old Olive. And let's grab my brush. Same thing, swirl it around, check it, and then start off the edge. And you'll notice that as I come in closer to my stamped image, I'm moving up off of the full head and just doing part of the front edge of it. So I do want a little of this Old Olive in the wheels, and then I want to deepen my corner over here and blend a little bit more. And Do the same thing over here. And by blending those corners and making them darker, it actually pushes your eye in towards the center there where we have our bear on the bicycle. Okay, let's pop this out of the way. And next I want my Mossy Meadow ink pad. And I've got that little set of leaves from Joyful Life. And I'm going to add some of those as if they're spinning around and on the ground. It's that time of year, or will be soon. Okay, let's clean that, and I'd like to add a couple in Mary Merlot. Oops, just dipped my finger in my ink pad. Okay, I did ink that up. So we'll add some Mary Merlot leaves there, and maybe another little set right in here just to add a little more color. Sandwich those in there. Okay, so let's put this card together now. Just need to close up my ink pads and move them out of the way. That was a quick and easy little scene type of card. So I've got my crumb cake base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And a piece of Whisper White for the inside. That's basic white. Old Habits Die Hard. And it is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And then we're going to layer these two pieces together. So the Mary Merlot is 4 by 5 1/4. And if I didn't mention, the piece that we've just stamped and colored is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So you get just that nice little frame. And then let's add some dimensionals. As you can see, I am finishing the bits from a sheet of dimensionals. Don't throw those edges away. Oops, one more. And then let's close this up and center this, check the top and the bottom. And there we are. And on this kind of card, I don't like to add any embellishments, so it is ready to go. Let me clean things up a bit and I'll show you a slightly different version. So again, we're going to use that Joyful Life stamp set and the same bear that we've just used. And I've gone ahead and colored just as we did on the first card, but this time I've cut them out with one of the Hippo and Friends dies. It's a great little frame, and as you can see, there's some nice stitching around the edge. So we are actually ready to go ahead and assemble this so that you can see a quick variation. So again, I've got my crumb cake base that's 5.5 by 8.5, and this basic white liner. I do line all of my cards except for those made on a basic white or very vanilla card base. And then this time for our layers, I've got the Mary Merlot at 4 by 5 1/4 and a piece of Beauty of the Earth designer paper, and it's cut at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. We're just going to adhere that with multi-purpose glue and give it a nice little frame. Okay. And then I've got some of this beautiful early espresso ribbon. You can find that in the annual catalog. Let me just straighten my end. For this treatment, I do want straight ends. Often I want an angle. And grab my mini glue dots here and just pick one up. And let's straighten up my card on my grid paper. Grid paper is my friend. And then go ahead and cut this over here. I don't want to pull it tight because then your layer will be pulled, and that's just a smidge long. So let's trim a smidge off. And I'm still just a smidge long. You can always take small bits off, but you can't add anything back on. Okay, there we go. And this time I'm going to use my Take Your Pick to slide a mini glue dot under the edge there. It's my favorite third hand. Okay, and put this out of the way and grab my dimensionals, and let's add some dimensionals to the back of our die cut piece. And let's add dimensionals to the back of this layer. This treatment will give us a little more dimension for our card, and I'm just going to cut some more of my edge pieces. Okay, put that out of the way. Let's grab this up. If you don't yet have a Stampin' Up! Catalog, you can use the link in the description below and request one. Okay, so there's our layer. And here's our die cut piece. And now our bear and bunny look as if they are taking a ride out through the fall woods. Thanks for stopping in today to see both of these Joyful Life cards. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your card making friends. When you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell, you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. And if you're in the United States and enjoy my videos, please do some of your Stampin' Up! Shopping in my store. Have a great day. Bye.